The field that we needed to work in was going to be redeveloped for housing. So Rose Builders, which is a local Essex-based company, asked us to come in and investigate the site. We knew that there was going to be a Napoleonic barrack sort of related remains there because from historical sources we knew that things were there, and the field that we actually were working in on historic maps is called Barrack Field. So it was a bit of a clue that we were going to find something military related on the site. So Weeley is near Clacton-on-Sea in Essex, so right on the coast. So that's why there was a military barracks there, because they were worried about the French coming over and invading Britain. So they set up all of these temporary barracks around the Essex coast, and that's what we found at this Weeley site, was the remains of a Napoleonic barracks. And what is quite good about the site is because it's this period of time, we've got lots of historical sources as well to tie everything into. So we know from newspaper cuttings and things like that that this barracks was only in use for something like 12 years. So yeah, that's quite nice to have such a sort of confined sort of period of time that you know you're working on. It's a real kind of proper like frozen in time snapshot of the site, because it was decommissioned and then everyone left.
They sold off a lot of there are newspaper adverts from the time advertising the sale of the building materials and all the fittings. So a lot of what we found is what was left behind. So we had a lot of essentially what was the foundation cuts for the walls, which were then backfilled with rubble from when they pulled out the actual brickwork. The buildings would probably have been a sort of brick foundation with a wooden structure on top. So it wouldn't have been entirely brick, probably, from what we can tell. And then, there was one building which still had a reasonable amount of brickwork, which we actually produced a 3D model of, and so it was basically the only one of those which has ever been archaeologically investigated. People have dug numerous of the tented encampments, and then some people have done work in the more permanent barracks in places like Colchester or similar. But those were pre-existing and tended to be modified later on as well, because they continued in use. So this is almost a sort of 12-year period from 1803 to 1815, a window where we know exactly what was going on. So it's a unique experience, basically, a unique piece of work that no one's ever done before.